Hello, my name is Muhammad Suzarisha bin Zakaria, and I am a Gold Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador from Malaysia. Today, I'm going to talk to you about introduction of Azure Open AI Service. So there's a few requirements that you need to complete before following with the activity that we are going to go through today. So the first requirement is that you'll need to have an Azure subscriptions. If you don't have any Azure subscriptions and you are a student, you can sign up for a $200 Azure credits to explore the cloud and AI. The second requirement is that you'll need to fill in a form to register for limited access to Azure Open AI Service. How do you ask? So let's try to go to Google and type in Azure Open AI form. You'll find this Microsoft Learn page. Click on the limited access to Azure Open AI Service Microsoft Learn page. You will be in Microsoft Learn page that will have a registration form in it. Click on the registration form and complete the registration form to be able to use Azure Open AI Service. Upon completion of the Azure Open AI Service request access form, you will need to wait 1 to 3 business days for them to either reject or approve your application. After you get the access, go to portal.azure.com and find Azure OpenAI from the search bar. So let's find, right? And click on Azure OpenAI. From here, you'll just need to create a new deployment, a new Azure AI Service deployment. So click on Create. Specify the resource group that you want to work with. So I'll just need to create a new one. Click on OK. You can select the region that you want to work and then the name of the instance, the deployment instance. Select the pricing tier and click on Next. I'll just like to leave it as is. Next. And click on Create. So let's just wait for the deployment to complete. You can view the progress of the deployment from this page. Okay, the deployment is going to take a few minutes. It's going to take some of your time, so please wait for a while. So here's what to expect when you have successfully deployed the Azure OpenAI Studio, right? So let's go into it, right? Let's just click on Explore here, right? And here is the Azure AI Studio, right? You can see that there's a lot of things that you can do. We have chat playground, we have completion playground, we have bring your own data text generation, and lastly Dall-E playground, right? So the most important part that I want to highlight is that you'll need to set up a new deployments to your Azure AI Studio, right? As you can see here, I have 2 deployments, right, with different model name, right? And this model name will be used to generate AI content, to chat, completion, and Dall-E features on Azure OpenAI, right? So to create a new deployment, you need to click on this Create New Deployment button here, right? And then select a model. We have 3 model here, which is GPT-35 Turbo, GPT-35 Turbo 16K, text embedding the ADA002, right? So just click on any model, but I totally recommend you to have different models for each use cases, right? You can select the model version, right? I just want to stick with auto update, right? To get the most latest model, right? And then you can name your own deployment, right? So let's try to name my new deployment as Shah Suzaria, which is my name, right? And then you can click on some content filter. You can decide on content filter if you don't want to include any topics into the generation part of the AI, right? So you can also click you can also decide on the tokens per minute rate limit as well, right? And just click on create, right? But because I have already deployed 2 models, I don't decide to create a new one, right? And let's try to have a look at the chat feature in Azure AI Studio, right? The chat playground. I believe that all of those people who have ventured into AI, they know about ChatGPT, right? So ChatGPT is a text generation by AI, right? So you can ask them anything, you can chat with them, you can ask them to explain something if you don't know anything, right? But in Azure AI Studio, we also have our own version of ChatGPT, right? But with more flexibility, right? So as you can see here, you can set up a system template, right? You can even create an IRS text chatbot, Xbox customer support agent, hiking recommendation chatbots. We also have a few templates enabled, right? But if you don't want to have any template, you don't want to use any template, you can set it on default, right? You click on continue and you're done, right? And after that, you can decide on system messages as well, right? So if you want the AI to say something that is decided from this field, you can basically do that as well, right? So you can see the chat session here, right? It is very intuitive, right? You can start asking the AI about anything, right? Let's say, for example, I want to introduce myself. Hi, I am Shah, right? And see what the AI generate for us. Hello Shah, how can I assist you today? This is a very simple interactions between me and the chatbot, right? But I want to ask more about astrophysics, right? I know this is random, but I really like astrophysics, right? Let's try to ask what is the diameter of the Earth, right? And see what it can generate, right? So it says here the diameter of Earth is approximately 12,742 kilometers, right? And let's ask for more questions, right? What is the distance of the Earth and Sun, right? And voila, that's it. That's very impressive, right? But this is so lame, right? We want to move towards a more complex task for the AI, right? But before we do that, I want to emphasize that this is just a playground, right? And if you want to deploy it into a web application, you can do that as well, right? So you can click on deploy to a new web app, right? And you can decide on a name. Let's say, for example, I want to decide on a name for my website on my own web app. I can name it, select my subscription, select the resource group, and then the location. I would stick with East US2, and the pricing plan will be standard S3, right? And then click on I acknowledge that web apps will incur usage to my account. And that is to the Azure account that I have, right? And then click on deploy, right? But for the sake of this video, right, the deployment is going to take a long time. I don't want that, right? So let's just go straight to the end product, right? So this is what we are deploying, right? Yeah, right. This looks pretty much like ChatGPT, right? But before that, I want to explain a bit about the section here, right? So as you can see here, all of the things that we asked, all of the AI generated content that we saw just now is using the deployment Azure OpenAI, which is using GPT-35 Turbo 16K, right? And you can also change it to a different model, right? To use this model. See, you can basically decide on which deployment that you want to work with, right? And then you can see the input tokens progress indicator as well, right? To see the rate limiting, to see the progress indicator that you have used on Azure AI Studio, right? But let's move to the end result, to the product that we have deployed just now, right? So I want to give a task to the Chat GPT like web app, right? I want the AI to generate a blog post for me, right? That's very crazy, right? Let's just give it a prompt here, right? I want to decide on I want to write a blog about some hot IT technology topics in 2023, but I don't have the exact blog title. I don't have the idea for it, right? So let's just give this prompt to AI, right? As you can see here, it started to generate a few hot topics, a few hot IT technology topics in 2023, right? And I want I decided to use topic number 4, right? Let's try to ask AI to elaborate on topics number 4, right? Let's see what they are trying to write, right? So as you can see here, we have the in-depth writings of 5G network and its application. And I don't want any student in university to use this facility, right, to cheat on their exam, to cheat on their assignments, right? Obviously, there will be a few filtering and the professors would definitely detect it, right? So we have all of the outline here. For blog writers such as myself, I really love this particular line, right? Because it gave us the outline of our blogs, right? It gave us some insights on what to include in the blogs, right? But we cannot rely on this generated text 100%, right? We'll need to put some efforts to proofread, to do copywritings in it as well, right? And then let's try to ask the AI to generate a 3,000 word blog post, right? So I have a prompt here ready, right? And I just need to click on enter. Click on enter, and voila! You can see here that the AI is writing a blog post, a full 3,000 word blog post for me. Imagine. But we'll still need to do copywriting, proofreading, and obviously try to rephrase some of the facts and the wordings here, the sentencing here. We'll need to rephrase it, right? Obviously, right? So as you can see here, it generate a few words for us to publish, right? And then if, let's say, for example, I want the AI, let's just move towards a more complex task for AI, right? I want to explain 5G to my child, right? To a 5-year-old boy, right? How can we do that, right? I myself, I have trouble to explain it to my children, right? So let's give it a new prompt here, right? We can ask the AI to rewrite the above content to make it more understandable to a 5-year-old, right? So let's just click on enter here. Voila. See, do you know how we use our phones and other devices to connect with our friends, play games, and watch videos? They also have the capability to rewrite those content to be more understandable to a 5-year-old. This is very, very amazing, right? I love this so much, right? So that's just how AI has progressed these days, right? So that's all about Chat Playground and the chat feature for Azure AI Services. So that's enough of Chat Playground, right? So let's move towards another playground, which is completion playground, right? So this is basically you giving out some prompts to AI and it will complete it, right? So we have a few examples here, such as generate an email, generate a product descriptions, generate a quiz, right? But let's say, for example, I want to ask AI to generate an email, right? So it will give a few contexts, a few prompts, and let's try to click on generate. Right, so we'll receive the completion. You will receive an error, which is completion operation does not work with the specified model. This is why this is exactly why I asked you to deploy two different models. Right, as you can see here, I have deployed another one, right, which is SHA v2, right, which should not receive the error that we have received just now, right? So let's just click on generate and see what it generate for us. Yeah, as you can see here, we have the green highlighted, the green indicated text. This is all generated by AI. How cool is that, right? On the right side, you can see the parameters. You can play around with the parameters. You can set the temperature. You can set the max length of this particular generated content. You can even set up the stop sequences as well, right? Or even set the pre-response tags and post-response tags as well, right? But this is, generated. All of the contents here we can see here is generated by AI, right? But let's say, for example, I want to write a resignation letter to my boss, right? And yeah, I have a prompt here, and let's try to clear this playground, right? I want to clear this and paste a prompt, right? So let's ask the AI to write a letter of resignation and address it to my manager, right? My company name is Google, right? Obviously, I don't work at Google, right? But yeah, I want to decide on a few placeholder content, right? So my manager name is Cheryl Lim. My current position here right now is software engineer 2. The reason for leaving is because low benefit and compensation. The last date of work is 20 August 2023, right? So let's just click on generate here. Yeah, so you can see here that the AI starts to generate the letter of resignation to my boss. Right? Yeah, so this is very cool, right? This is very cool. And you can also create a deployment as we did just now with Chat Playground, right? To an endpoint, to a new web app as well, right? But I'm not gonna do that, right? So let's just move forward to the next playground, which is Dall-E. I believe some of the AI enthusiasts out there must know what is Dall-E. Dall-E is basically a text-to-image AI generator, right? So this is powered by AI, obviously. This is a very intuitive UI, right? You can basically put some prompt in it and the AI will generate a few pictures that you have asked them to generate, right? So you can see the settings here as well, right? You can set up the number of images to generate. Let's say, for example, I want to generate 3 images, right? As you can see here right now, the Azure AI Studio Dall-E Playground can generate max to up to 3 pictures, right, per prompt, right? And you can expect longer generations time for more images, right? And you can also set up the image size as well, right? As you can see here, I have decided to generate a high resolution image, which is 1024 times 1024. You also have the option to generate image size of 512 times 512, and the lowest image size resolution, which is 256 times 256, right? But I want to obviously generate a higher image size resolutions, right? So click on save to save these settings, and let's try to give it a prompt, right? I want the AI to generate a picture of the future of the Earth, right? Let's see what are the generated image. It will take a bit of your time, but if you want to reduce the time, right, you can basically change the settings from here, right? As you can see here, these are some of the images that are created, that are generated by AI, by Dall-E in the first place, right? You can see that we can download the image, you can view the code, right? So these are some of the sample code that includes the prompt that we use, right? As well as the settings that we decided just now, the image resolution, and how much image that we want to generate, right? So this is very cool, right? So let's try to, maybe give a different prompt, right? Maybe an original prompt, right? A monk holding a USA flag. So let's try to ask the AI to generate a few images out of it. Okay, so this is some of the realistic generation, but it doesn't make any sense here. It's the monk doesn't even hold the flag, but technically he is, right? But yeah, this is very cool in my opinion, right? Here's another picture of monk, which is very realistic, and we can see a cartoon-like monk holding a cartoon-like USA flag as well, right? So let's try. This is very fun, right? I want to maybe be playful with the prompt, right? Let's try to generate a few pictures of horse drinking milk in an office. This must be fun. As you can see, as you can see here, we have a horse drinking behind the milk. It's not drinking the milk directly. This is very fun, right? As you can see here, yeah, this is another pictures of a horse drinking a milk in an office, which is surreal. And this looks horrific. This is very fun, right? And you can ask the AI to generate a new image as well, right? From this button. Let's try to see what it will generate. I'm very curious right now. Oh wow, we have another one, which is this is fun, right? Let's try to maybe put a new prompt, maybe the last prompt for this demonstration. Okay, a duck sitting on top of a man's head. Oh wow, this is a very realistic image, right? Yeah, I think this is acceptable, right? And then this one. Oh wow, this is very nice. Oh wow, why is this taking so long, right? Maybe we can ask the AI to generate new image. Okay, and try to delete this one. Oh wow, an old man, and we have a duck on top of the head, right? Which is very surreal. So that's all for today's demonstration. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Bye bye. Have a nice day.